So in the first video, we looked at an indefinite integral, an integral where we have a plus c after we integrate, right? A constant. In this video, we're going to be looking at a definite integral, meaning we won't actually have this plus c. So we know that to get a function, right, we just have to integrate the derivative of that function, and then we'll get the function plus the c value. But now what we're going to introduce are some limits. So we're going to introduce a lower limit a and an upper limit b. Okay. So once we do this, once there are limits, it means it's now a change from an indefinite integral to a definite integral. And so when you integrate this, what you're going to get is actually, you're going to get a value. You're not going to get any x terms, you're going to get a constant value, all depending upon this a and b, upper limit and lower limit. And so just a way of writing it out before we actually go about tackling some questions is, well, if you integrate this, right, you'll get f of x, don't we? But now we write it in square brackets, the function inside square brackets, and we write our limits a and b, lower limit a, upper limit b, like here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to plug in our b and a values. So we're going to plug in b first, so f of b, and then we're going to do that in like a normal brackets, and we're going to subtract plugging in a, so f of a essentially. And what we do is we're going to be left with a single value. Now this value is useful for later on in the next video, where we're going to be looking at areas and stuff, and it can be useful for other stuff. But this is just an example of how a definite integral will work. But the integration method is exactly the same. The way we integrate terms is exactly the same. It's just that we have limits now, which we have to plug in. So let's take a look at one of these questions. Let's maybe try a. So we're asked to integrate 2 over x cubed plus 3x dx, and we are now given limits. So the limits are from 1 to 2. So first things first, you just integrate as you would normally do it. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2x to the power minus 3 plus 3x, like this, just to make it a bit easier. So integrating this, we get 2x to the power minus 2 over minus 2 plus 3x squared over 2, and the limits will be from 1 to 2. I'm going to simplify this even further just to make it easier for me. So I'll get minus x to the power minus 2, so it's minus 1 over x squared, plus 3 over 2 x squared, like this, 2, 1. So you've integrated it, and now we put it in square brackets. Our next thing we should be doing is now we input our limit. So upper limit first minus lower limit. So in normal brackets, I'm going to put my upper limit in, so it's minus 1 over 2 squared. So wherever there's an x, you put in 2, plus 3 over 2 times 2 squared, close bracket. And I'm just going to subtract, doing the same thing, but now I'm going to put into my lower limit. So in this case, 1. So minus 1 over 1 squared plus 3 over 2 times 1 squared, like this. Which now I can simplify or work out the values for this. This is going to be minus 1 over 4 plus this is 6 minus 1 plus 3 over 2. We're going to have 24. So 23 over 4 minus, this is a half, like this. So make sure, keep it in brackets just so you don't get confused with it. And then finally, this was going to be 221 over 4. So as you can see, we just get a value, a number, right? And this, as I said earlier, will be used later on to work out areas and other stuff. But the main steps are the same. You still integrate the same, but it's just we add an additional step where we have to input our limits. Let's just try one more. Let's just try maybe the c. So we're integrating root x minus 6 over x squared. So root x minus 6 over x squared dx. And the limits are from 4 to 9. 4 to 9. So I'm going to write it in this form just for, so it's just easier for me to integrate. So this is x to the half minus 6x to the power minus 2 dx 4, 9. Now I can go about integrating it. So this is going to be x to the power 3 over 2 over 3 over 2 minus 6x to the power minus 1 over minus 1. We don't need a plus c now. We just use our closed brackets, square brackets, 4 to 9. Which I'm going to now simplify a bit further. So this would be 2 over 3x to the power 3 over 2 minus a plus 6 over x. So we get 4, 9. Now I'm going to substitute my 9 and 4. So substitute 9 first because the upper limit. So we'll have 2 over 3 times by 9 to the power 3 over 2 plus 6 over 9 minus 2 over 3 times by 4 times 3 over 2 plus 6 over 4. And that's just a matter of working this out, okay? So this was going to be 2 over 3 times 27 plus 3 over 2 over 3 minus 2 over 3 times by 8 plus 3 over 2. This will give me 18 plus 2 over 3 minus, this is 16 over 3 plus 3 over 2. This is going to be equal to 56 over 3, and this one is going to be equal to minus 41 over 6, which is equal to 112 minus 41 over 6, 71 over 6. Okay, so the last part is just simply finding the value. It's the more important step here, as you can see, is that I've integrated it. I've excluded this plus c. We don't need it in this case. This is because we have the limits. And I put in my limits 9 and 4. A tip is that maybe just keep it in bracket, each limit in brackets, so you don't get confused, you don't mix them together. Just keep them in brackets until you get the final terms and then subtract the final terms.